Well, hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. So this is the end of October edition, and let's take a look. There's some good progress to be talked about, and we'll just go around the plane real quick and see what we have. All right, Windows. So this is probably the biggest thing that we got going on. I still need to clean this window up, so you can tell here. This is where the foam block was kind of pushing on as well. So I do need to fill this channel, and that's something that I just need to. So I need to go back and cut some of this silica down, and then fill and smooth it. And that's something I just got to tape this side again and make that go around. But this window's on. The other one's also on. And yeah, that's progress. On the inside, I got a little bit of mess going on. But that mounting bracket is for my oxygen bottle. Now, I'm not carrying the biggest oxygen bottle in the world. And I did that intentionally. But this mount does support a larger oxygen bottle if needed. But these bolts are really just to hold the straps for the tank. And that is set and ready to go. Now, obviously, carpet needs to go in, so you won't see that plate after that, but that's done. There's some antenna fittings here. Now, I may have screwed this up, right? So I did put the GA35 and the 56 here, and those are great. But the 35, because it's WAS, has a TNG connector on, a twist on, and yeah, my connector is not a twist on. So I need to cut that off, and I actually already have the part. But I need to solder on a TNG connector. The other one is fine, and it's ready to go. Down here, that's my oxygen plate. So it's ready to go. And I have the Altus sitting right here. I have yet to drop it in there. I might do that this week. It's a pretty easy process at this point to get that done. So that's pretty straightforward. I do need to start carpeting back there. I probably should have done that far corner, this area here, while I had that window off. But my primer was expiring, and I needed to do something before my primer fully expired. So that's what happened. Rotax, I got the ECU laying right here. Obviously, it needs to go under there. So let's take a look at the firewall while we're looking at that. All right. So here's a little bit of work that's been done here. So I did end up putting my Behringer here because, Midwest has had good success with it up here. And, Sling's factory location blows in not too many terms. And that's because where Sling wants it, let me show you where Sling wants it. Sling wants it basically right there. Unmodified, the location for it would be right about here. And that is a horrible location to do any brake bleeding or any work or anything on it, because you'd have to take the side covers off. The fuel valves is right here. There's no way you could do much with it, right? So Sling knows it. Whatever. So you can tell this is cool. and the world's shortest brake cable, right? Whatever. You've seen me make these before in another video. These are just brake line fittings, and I've got a little heat shrink on the metal braid as well, just to further protect it. I've got a bulkhead fitting going through to the inside, and I have a 90 here as well. You know, I'm mismatching, right? I've got a black, I got a blue, whatever. Somebody already called me out on it and said, "Oh, you should go back and get black AN fittings." I'm like, yeah, well, whatever. Anyway, so this fuel fitting, this is going to go to the inside. This is going to go to the throttle panel, right? So there's the brake valve and the parking brake. So that's going to run that way and happen that way. You see, I have the tech stuff, the tech fiber on the inside, and I have the heat shield on the outside. And this stuff is pretty solid. I'll show you a video on this here in just a second, because I did make a video clip of some of this stuff here. Battery box is mounted, the coolant reservoir deal. I just have it sitting here because I'm waiting to mount some engine stuff, which are on the engine, so that goes right there. My fuel pumps, we'll talk about that in a second. My Naviflow, we'll also talk about that in a second. The holes for the, these are doubler plates, right? So I got a doubler plate sitting on here. That's why this is black. That's my fuel in and fuel out. Fuse panel, it's mounted. Starter solenoid relay thing is mounted. You see I've got 2 cable holes. I did mount one. This is my prop, and this is my throttle. I did mount the throttle cable inside out, and I did that because of the starter solenoid. So it's going to clear up just fine once I tighten this. I haven't tightened this because there's a cable needs to get attached to this. A grounding cable, right, needs to go onto this thing to ground it. So that needs to get done. But once I tighten it, it'll be fine. It'll be out of the way. But it didn't accommodate for that properly. So this one, I should have either moved this one over a little bit more. I should have moved this over here. Which this one is, I don't know, like 2 inches over. So I should have gone 3 or 4 inches over. Lesson for next time, whatever. But it is what it is. And I had a firewall hole, and, it's fine. So it's backwards. It's never going to need to be touched unless I have to replace the whole cable, which means if I have to replace the whole cable, I have to get in there anyway, because the cable has to come all the way out at some point. So either way, I'm screwed. Good. Let's see. Other than that, I cleaned up. I did put these through again. You can tell, like, this is my doubler plate. I have a double plate sitting here as well. And oil, it is sitting on the right spot. Someone talked to me earlier about getting a quick drain for this thing, and that is possible. There's one that comes from Rotax. I think you can order it online. So I'll take a look at that sometime. I think they're pretty pricey. I think that valve is like $60 or something online. So I'll have to look at it. The shunt is in here. Interestingly, this shunt, I had to drill the screw holes for this thing. Like, it was not on there. So it was kind of like a slide back and forth, up and down kind of thing to figure out where it was. I put masking tape on this so I could put some lines, and then I drilled it, and it seems to be fine. And so that part's good. I did scrape my paint off, and so this is a ground strap connection for me. And then I did the same thing over here. you can see it better. Cleaned it off, and then I've got another ground over on this side. So I've got 2 ground points basically done, and yeah, that's it. This wire up here is the Midwest wire. These 2 obviously go right there. This X3 gets plugged in over here, so that part's pretty straightforward. Still got a lot of wiring to do with that, but I'll start taking a look at the wiring diagram in the next couple days to start taking this apart. But obviously, I want to get this kind of done because the next spot is getting an engine in here. Speaking of engine bolts, there's been a Facebook kind of discussion about these things. Sling says the bolts are fine and the heat is not a problem for the nylock nut that they have. Obviously, it's been flying just fine. Some people have referred to a castle nut. One person reached out to technical and said, hey, you know, what do you want us to do? And technical came back and said, hey, no problem. They've never had a problem with it. And obviously, planes have been flying for many, many hours with what Sling provides. So what am I going to do? Well, I did look at the castle nut, and I actually have it with that bolt because it wasn't that expensive. So I do have it. I'll take a closer look at it just to see what I want to do. But, you know, for right now, it is what it is. Inside as well here. So if you guys recall, I put this bracket in earlier in the build process, right when I was building this this panel, Avionics rack, and I have that stupid splitter box there. Now there is another group that I've been talking to every once in a while about buying a better splitter box that they make or have just started making. If I can get my hands on it, I'll show it to you guys as well. But it would actually mount the splitter box better. Now, you still have to deal with what to do with all the hoses and that kind of stuff and where they get kind of mounted too. But you guys with the fan box know that the fan box connects to both sides and secures that. Now, here we don't have that, so we've got some more movement ability. So I looked at either doing that L channel or even doing the straight strap. I haven't figured out what I'm going to do here yet. But I figure I would do something here just to help me secure stuff and then have that available. So I don't know. I'll do one and we'll take a look at it. But that gives me some more options to help secure stuff as we go. I don't know if we talked about the floors. Those have been done for a while, at least the rears. I just have them cleat-coated in place. And you can kind of tell I did cheat with my brake lines. So I've got that so I can access them and then tighten those brake lines. Or loosen them or inspect them. But I do have a cover plate sitting there. The duct, I need to get back in the plane and sit down for a little bit more. But there's one of the pieces there. It's the Y. Obviously, that duct's going to run in the raceway there. You also notice here that, yeah, there's an antenna down there. And that's something that I've done as well. So one of my antennas is sitting right there. My other antenna, my ground antenna is not hanging out there yet. COM2 and my GHA is not down there. And my COM1 is not there yet because I'm waiting for parts. So let's talk about parts. So I guess let's start with NaviFlow. NaviFlow is pretty straightforward. I got this thing sitting here, right? So Gasculator, pretty easy, right? I just need to put the quick drain in there. Other than that, you know, it is what it is. This thing could mount, but I need the frame to kind of test fit it all, right, to make sure it fits. What's happening here, I don't know. So I have this check valve and I have this rubber fitting, but getting this to this, getting this all connected, not good. So Midwest Aerospace Innovations, I should say, provided this 14.5 OET. I've got a question to them about this thing because it doesn't go. But this goes fine. So I need to ask them about it. I also want to verify the direction of the check valve because obviously it's got an arrow on it. Just want to make sure that arrow goes the right way, and that's something to follow up on with them. So I have an email to Aerospace Innovation / Midwest on this thing and what they want me to do here. Obviously, I've heated this hose. I've done a few things to try to make this work. But right now, whatever. Other than that, this thing's great. It's just this thing. I don't know. I've also tried, these are the C-clamps from Sling, the OET clamps. Sling, interestingly, uses like an 18.5 or an 18 OET clamp for 3/8 hose. That the hose is 15.7. This should clamp to like 15.4 or something like that when it's ideally clamped. So I don't know. Another reason why not to use barb fitting stuff, right? So all right, now this thing. So let's first talk about this drawing. There's some magic that happens right here and right here. Look at the pump. That is a female connection, not a male connection, and that is a female connection. So yeah, there's no call out here. Anyhow, so I'm missing parts. Cool. There's also no directions on the check valves. You see that? There's no direction arrows. So, like, there's a big red arrow on these. So, yeah, I put an email out to technical, and I'm like, hey, there's some magic happening here. I did pull the latest drawings, by the way, and I know what's missing. There's on this side of the pump, there's supposed to be 2 copper washers and a male-to-male fitting. On this side, there's supposed to just be a male fitting, male-to-male fitting. I don't have them, so yeah, there's that. But the drawing, is what it is. We'll figure it out from that perspective. So that is that. What else is going on? I'm still sitting on the doors. I'm still sitting on some parts. And I'm still trying to figure out the door latch system itself. So the door's still right there. But I have a door latch situation as well that I'm trying to figure out from Sling on what's going on. Yeah, so there we are. Okay, so let's talk throttle cable and pitch cable, or prop cable, whatever you want to call it. I picked up these 2 cable safes for 1/4 cable, which work really well. So that's this, right? And these are bulkhead fittings for the Firewall. Now, the good part is these things basically split in half. You can see the line here right? So this thing splits in half. The only thing that's solid is, it's got this washer, the nut, and then another nut here. Now, for the prop cable, I do need to back these two nuts off and these two washers off and get that off before I can get the end on. Now, the one for the prop, this area was the binding part. You need to get the front wash nut on. So to do that, well, the good part is this pulls back, and so that's easy, right? This is the right width to fit through, and then this guy also pulls back this way. So this will come this way, and that'll allow you to get this front one on, which is the tightest, right? This guy is the tightest inner diameter to get on there, but the other ones work pretty good. And so that's going to be the cable safe 2 for 1/4 cable. Now, I do need to drill a hole in the firewall for these, and obviously there was a hole for the prop. There wasn't a hole for a hole for a prop or a hole for a throttle. There was a hole for the throttle, but not for a prop. So that's got to get done. But I will get that drilled up now that I have them. I can just measure that and make the one hole bigger, and then cut a new hole for that, and then the firewall can get in place. Okay, we're back at the firewall, and so we're going to do template work. We've already done, of course, this template, that kind of stuff. This is ground. I've got a ground over here too, so those are waiting for ground parts. Also, the Lamar, put that right there. So that's all sitting here good, right? And so this is a template that's sitting here, and I got a piece here for a template as well. So I got a few holes here. I got the brake thing here. I got to drill a hole still for the pass-through on it, but I can do some brake line work for that. Let's take a look at the material. So here we go. Now this is the material that we ended up using, and it's this DEI stuff, right? So it's DEI firewall shield, and yeah, I got my template laying on here right now. I'm just using an X-Acto knife to cut this. Actually works. Surprise. But a very sharp blade on there, so I'm going to change blades. I did 2 corners, so I'm going to change my blade, and I'll do the top and on the other side here, and then I'll change blades, and I'll start doing some interior work. But the blade's working, so that's kind of cool. The other thing I did is I did a test punch here, and so I've got these arbors, right? And this is just a generic, it's this thing, number 1271, and then I have a 1-inch version of it as well. And so hopefully my holes are in the right spot, but I'm going to use this half for most of the holes, and that should be good. And then for the fuel pump with the grommets, I'm going to use the 1-inch, and we'll see how that lays in. So for the fuel pump and maybe the pass-throughs for my throttle and my prop, I'll use this guy to do the punching for that. The other ones should all be fine with the half, assuming my holes are in the right spot. So, there's no guarantees here. Thankfully, I bought a lot of this stuff, and I got this whole thing laying there. But I still need to make the side pieces, of course, still after this. But so this wasn't actually that much work right now. This cutting this bit off only really took 5-6 minutes of my time. There's still stuff that I'm going to do, obviously, like I got the battery box frame here. Just want to make sure that, you know, it lines up like I think it's going to line up right on the holes. And I previous did the holes there. So I just want to make sure that when I'm cutting, I give it all the room that it needs. And so that'll be good. And the same thing with the other parts, like the oil. You know, I got that over here. The steering push rods, I got that here as well. And then the NaviFlow, right? I got that over here to do. So a lot of holes. These are going to be the bigger ones to take care of. So I'll get that done, obviously, as well. And yeah, this, you know, it's not a big deal. It's just time. And so I think if I'm going to take my time on this thing, it's going to work out just fine. All right, after much cutting is done, this is the way that this firewall looks right now. And looks like we got pretty lucky with all the holes. Everything kind of lined up pretty much how we were hoping. There's some little bits, I need to look at this a little bit more. I can just trim that, it's not a big deal. But that's my only concern right now. Otherwise, everything is looking really good on this firewall. I also have some tape. I'm going to put a little bit of tape right here just to cover this up. And where I made the cuts in the firewall down here to slot around, I'm going to put a little bit of tape down here at the bottom as well. And that tape is, it's, pardon the mess. The tape is this stuff, which is the cool tape, which goes on that stuff. All right. Well, all right. So it's getting cold in Chicago. It's, I don't know, 50s for next week. So it's November. So there's probably a couple of workable weeks left for me at this point before it gets cold and snowy and things just slow down. Especially January will kind of be slow, I'm guessing. But I'm also waiting on a ton of parts, which are stopping my antenna installation. It's stopping the fuel pump installation, and stopping, you know, a few other things like doors getting installed. There's tons of other things to do. It's a target-rich environment. I could start carpeting. In fact, I may start carpeting because now that I can't do anything more on the firewall side, I'm basically, you know, I was going to do the pump stuff and work on my electrical wiring. So I was going to do that as well. Obviously, the pumps need 2 wires to power them. So that needs to be taken care of. And there's a whole bunch of other wiring up there that needs to happen. But that needs to get done. And yeah, we'll see what else we can get accomplished from there. But if I have something big, I'll drop a separate video on it. But otherwise, I'll probably do a video after Thanksgiving again, just for a monthly update. Let me know if you guys want to see something particular. I know some of you guys have gone back and said, let's look at the front of the firewall. Let's talk about that a little bit more, or let's see what else is out there. If there's something I've done, let me know. Something you're interested in, let's talk and let's take a look at it. All right, keep building, and talk to you guys soon.